Lolly ho, internet. This is the Orpig coming to you, and today I wanted to talk to you about 5 things that I found I learned about myself while dieting. Now, you might find that you learn different things about yourself when you're dieting, but I think it's important that whenever you do something like a life-changing journey or anything, is that you evaluate yourself and you try to realize what mistakes you're making or what changes are happening to your body, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So these necessarily might not work for you, but these are things to just consider, that these are things I observed with myself with my journey, as well as even today I have to remind myself about these things. Okay, so you have to always learn. The first thing I learned was that I eat the most when I didn't exercise, which is crazy because you would think when you do exercise, either you're doing cardio or going to the gym or whatever it is that you're doing, if you do more of an activity that day, you would think that you would eat more because your body burned those calories. But what I found was when I would work out, I wouldn't want to eat because I wouldn't want to ruin what I did, and I also wouldn't feel that hungry. Just like even when I was out of shape, when I would cut the grass and you would go outside and it was really hot outside and you cut the grass and everything, you come in and you're all sweaty and tired, I wasn't famished. I wasn't hungry. Even if I hadn't eaten that day yet, I wasn't extremely hungry because of doing the work and doing the exercises. So but on the days where it was a rest day, okay, I did 4 days on, 1 day off from the gym. On my rest days, if I didn't do anything that day, I just wanted to eat everything in the house, which is so weird, but that's something that I discovered about myself, and that rest days were something I had to really watch for because my guard would go down. I would want to binge eat. I would want to eat everything, and I just didn't have a care. The other thing I learned is that I ate more when food was available. So what this goes into is if you have a job or anything like that where food is limited, you'll find to where if the food is not there, you won't eat it, which goes to, not stocking your house full of Oreos, cookies, and ice cream and stuff, because if it's there, you're going to go eat it. Now, some of us, like myself, are married or you got kids running around, and that stuff is just a necessity. I mean, just because you're dieting doesn't mean your whole family should suffer. But the point is that like when I go to work, okay, even now I bring myself a snack. If I bring myself a snack, I find myself just looking at the clock and just staring at the snack and wondering when I can eat it because it's there. If I don't bring a snack with me, I'm fine. I'm really not that hungry or don't really care. Sometimes, you get really, really hungry, but for the most part, if it's not there, I'm not hungry. So what I have to watch is on the weekends, because on the weekends when I am home and I know that there's food in the pantry, I want to just go raid the pantry, whether it's almonds or get me some tuna fish or some edamame, whatever it is, I want to eat it just because I'm sitting at home. And especially if I'm just sitting in front of the TV, I want to eat. So I learned that about myself. I also learned that doing the intermittent fasting, which I still do, once I start eating, it is hard for me to stop. It is hard to hit that cutoff switch. It's easier for me to fast in the morning and not eat than it is to actually stop eating at that time. And I think it's just because once I put food in my stomach, once I get a taste of that, I just want more and more of it, okay? So I learned that it's easier for me to push my window that I'm making myself hungry in the morning out longer than it is to stop earlier. So I still got to give myself my time to go to sleep, but what that means is I look at our schedule for what we're doing that day, and if I think we're going to eat like around noon or 1 o'clock, I'll just hold off on eating altogether, because if I eat something, even though I know I'm going to eat in like 2 or 3 hours, it's going to kill me for those 2 or 3 hours. It's going to drive me nuts, and my stomach is going to be screaming for more food because all I did was give it a little tease. All right, so guys, we don't like being teased, so I'd rather just wait and hold off and get the whole entire meal later. So that's what I found out. I also found out because other people talk about this, and they talk about how they weren't eating enough, right? That they were undercutting their calories. That's why they had these binge days or whatever, and they realized that they could eat enough to feel full. Well, here's my problem, okay? And this might just be me. I don't know. But it might pertain to one of you, some of you, whatever. Being an extremely big fat person and eating until I was just overstuffed every time I ate, when I started to go on my weight loss journey and I cut my calories, I was always hungry. Even now, I am always hungry. I eat what I know is a normal portion, but if I wanted to, I could easily eat more than that. I could easily go back for a second or third place. The difference is I just make myself stop because I know that that is a normal portion and I know I need to quit. I've had my calories and that they're good enough. But if I could, I would eat again. I mean, and even now, I'm still that way doing the intermittent fasting. You know, it's a running joke. My wife will ask me all the time if the kids or something say they're hungry. She's like, well, are you hungry? And my response is always the same. I can eat. Like, I am always ready to eat. As long as it's in my 8-hour window, I am always ready to eat. And if I'm cheating that day, and even if it's after 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, I'll eat then. But usually I don't. Usually I try to, my cutoff time. There's one thing, even on my cheat days, I adhere strictly to my time. So I don't eat until 10 or 11 o'clock, depending, and then I stop at 6 or 7, depending on when I started. So if I start at 10, I stop at 6, start at 11, end at 7. All right, so my cutoff times are very strict. I do that. But what I've found is that I'm always hungry. So there's people who are like, no, it's okay. You can eat until you're full. For me, that doesn't hold true because I am always hungry. There is no I can eat as much food as I want, because if I did, I would balloon back up to 500 pounds because I can always eat. I don't know if that's something wrong mentally with me, if it's some clue as to what's wrong with me, but I can always eat. I'm always hungry. And that's my crutch that I've observed, that I know that I'm never going to feel that full unless I am just disgustingly full. And then at that point, it's too late, right? You feel miserable and you feel guilty and you feel horrible about what you've done. So I realized that I will always be hungry. And I have just learned to live with that feeling and learn to be less hungry at times, but always know that I'm going to be hungry. And then my last thing that I learned on my journey is that too much cardio is not necessary. So when I was able to start running again, which was great, I was running every day. Every day I was running. Now, what I found, and I talked about this before, was that when I did more cardio, that also increased my appetite. And hey, I'm doing cardio, so I can eat more. It's okay. But what would happen is it would balance out. So if I went to bed weighing 250, I weigh myself same time every day. So if I wake up and I weigh myself and I'm 250, and then the next morning I wake up and I'm 250 again, even though I ran. Sometimes I run twice a day. All right, on my rest days, I would still be the same weight. Why? Because I ran, but then I increased my appetite. I ate more, and that's what cardio did to me. Weightlifting didn't. Weightlifting, I just wanted the protein to make sure I built up my muscles and everything, but I just needed a little bit of food. I didn't need as much. But cardio, my body, for me, might not be true for you, my body screamed for more calories. And so I learned that. So what I discovered is I don't need as much cardio. I just need to watch my macros, in particular, my carbs, okay? Yeah, carbs are important. You need carbs. Carbs help you build muscles. Carbs gives you energy throughout the day to do things. But at the same time, when I'm not doing cardio, I know I don't need that much. When I'm not doing a workout day, I know I need to severely limit my carbs because I'm not doing anything to work out, okay? I'm not doing anything to burn those carbs. So I did a ton of cardio in the beginning to lose my weight, and now I am still losing the weight in the same manner, just as fast as I was before, even though right now I'm maintaining. But when I quit running, I still lost the same weight in the same progression, pound a day, 2 pounds a day, whether I ran or I didn't run. I just had to watch my calorie intake. So that's what I learned about myself. I learned, cardio, I'm going to do a lot more coming up to try to cut for the summer and stuff. But at the same time, I'm going to have to watch my calorie intake, and it's a hard sacrifice. But that's what I found out going through my journey. Make sure you always observe yourself. Make sure you look for your little clues, see what things are working for you, what things aren't working for you. And keep that note, because we're all different, okay? Our bodies work in different ways, and while one thing might work for some people, it doesn't necessarily work for another. But you have to evaluate yourself. You have to be able to take a step back and look at yourself, look at what you're doing, and realize this is working or this isn't working, or maybe I should try this or try that. All right? So thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. Be sure you subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you again. Bye. Hey, if you stuck around for the end of the video, thanks. It's time for another What's on My Set List. And today's song is another from All That Remains, and it's called This Calling. Hard beat, hard rock, real fast tempo, fun song. Check it out. Put it on your set list. Let me know in the comment section what you like to listen to when you work out, and I'll see you again next time.